A Ghostly Haunting in Grand Haven, chapters 14 and 15. Chapter 14. Where are we going? Angela asked. There has to be a way out of here, I said confidently, and we're going to find it. At least I hope we would find it. And I hoped that my voice didn't betray the fear that was gnawing at my flesh, eating away just beneath my skin. Because the truth was that I was scared. Really scared. But I didn't want Angela to know it. So your dad is right after all, Angela said quietly. Yeah, he is, I replied. I feel sort of bad because I always thought he was kind of kooky, but now that we've seen the proof ourselves, I guess he was right all along. How about you? Did you ever believe that ghosts were real? I guess I did when I was little, Angela replied, and I think I've always known that there are some strange things in the world, things that we don't understand, but as I got older, I guess I just began to think that ghosts were just make-believe. Me too, I replied, but just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You're right, Angela said. I don't understand what's going on with this house, but whatever it is, it's really, really weird and scary. I was taking short, slow steps in the inky darkness, waving my right hand in front of me, trying to find a wall, trying to find anything. I knew that it was probably pointless and hopeless, but it was better than just standing there in the dark doing nothing. I hope we don't bump into that coffin, Angela said. Just as she said those words, my hand brushed something. I stopped walking and felt around with my hand. I think I found a wall, I said. Yay, Angela said. That means we're safe. I could tell she was just being sarcastic, and I had to smile. Despite the fact that we were both terrified, she still had a small sense of humor. I let go of her hand. Stay close, I said, and I felt the cool wall with my other hand, taking one more small step and pressing myself closer. In my mind, I was trying to remember everything I could about the basement, but there wasn't much. After all, the only things we'd seen were what we'd been able to spot in the dying beam of the flashlight. The wall was cold and rough beneath my fingers, and I recognized it instantly as cement bricks. I felt around with both hands, but found nothing else but the solid wall. Blindly, slowly, I reached back with my left hand. Ow, Angela said, you poked me in the eye. Sorry about that, I replied. I was trying to poke your ear. Grab my hand. I found the wall. In the darkness, Angela's hand found mine. Cautiously, I led the way, following the wall with my right hand, feeling the cool brick beneath my fingers. The only sound was the slight scuffing of our boots and the gentle swishing of our winter clothing. All right, wait a minute, I said. I found a corner. We stopped. The corner I discovered wasn't a corner of the room, but a sharp edge of the wall, the brick. Moving my hand more, I discovered that there was a turn, as if we'd found a hallway that went off to the right. What did you find? Angela asked. I'm not sure, I said, waving my right hand around in the darkness before me, but I think I found a hallway. By continuing to slowly wave my arm around, I soon discovered that not only had we come to a hallway that led off to the right, but there was also a narrow passageway that continued on directly ahead of us. I tried to get a picture in my mind of the layout of the basement and where we were in relation to the house above us. Okay, I said, there's a hall that leads straight ahead and another one that goes off to the right. Which way do we go? Angela asked. I'm not sure, I said, but my guess would be that the hallway to the right would take us farther under the house. The one that leads ahead of us, straight, would take us farther away, out into the yard. So let's go to the right and see if it's a way out of here. I was just about to suggest that, but Angela had been thinking the same thing. Maybe, just maybe, the hallway was a way out. Okay, I said, to the right it is. Come on. We started out again, and my mind whirled with questions. I was confused, worried, anxious, and nervous, but mostly I was scared, and I am not ashamed to admit it. I was afraid of what we'd already experienced. I was afraid that I might never see my dad again. I was afraid that we'd never get out of the house. And I was afraid that at any moment those weird ghostly apparitions would appear. Sure, they hadn't hurt us or anything, but that did not matter. Maybe that's what scared me the most, the unknown. Not knowing what was going to happen next, not knowing if we were going to be okay, not knowing if we were going to make it out of the house alive, not knowing if... And that's what I was thinking when my foot smacked into something solid, filling me with alarm and causing me to stop walking. Chapter 15. What is it? Angela spoke as soon as she heard the thud of my boot hitting something. We stopped walking and I let go of her hand. I don't know. But as I knelt down and reached out, I immediately had my answer. Steps, I said. It's another stairway. Let's hope it leads out of here, said Angela. Let's hope it doesn't vanish too, I said. I stood up straight, raised my left leg, and placed it on the first step. And then I placed my right boot on the next. And that's the way it went, slowly, warily, as we climbed the stairs in total darkness, not able to see anything, not even a single pinprick of light. Angela held my left hand, and I held my right hand straight out, waving it back and forth, feeling my way through the blackness. Then I stopped. My hand had touched something hard in front of me, a solid wall of some sort. What's the matter? Angela asked. There's something here, I said, and I rapped on the wall with a bare knuckle. The surface was hard and smooth, but it wasn't solid and dense like brick or mortar. My guess was that it was wood. There's a wall or a door here, I said, and I let go of Angela's hand and placed both of my palms on the wall in front of me. I pushed and felt it give just a little bit, and then I felt around a bit more, searching for a knob, but I didn't find anything. Help me push, I said. This is a wall or a door of some sort. Maybe we can get it open. Angela took a step up next to me, and we both pushed as hard as we could. The wall or the door, whatever it was, moved a little bit. We're doing it, I said. Keep pushing. Suddenly there was a violent, defiant snapping of breaking wood. The wall gave away, and Angela and I went tumbling forward, falling down on our hands and knees. And although we were still in darkness, I knew where we were. We made it, Angela exclaimed. We're back in the house. And we were. We quickly scrambled to our feet and looked around. Our surroundings were black and gloomy, but it wasn't nearly as dark as it had been in the basement. Soon our eyes adjusted, and we could make out murky images in the room. Where are we? Angela asked. Looks like we're in a bedroom, I said. Careful, I stepped off the wall we had knocked down. I made my way to a wall where I found a light switch and flicked it on. The sudden explosion of light was nearly blinding, and I immediately squinted. So did Angela. Actually, it was only a single light that had turned on, in a fixture on the ceiling in the center of the room, but it seemed as bright as the sun, at least for a moment. After a few seconds, our eyes adjusted to the new light, and I looked around. Angela was still standing where she'd stopped, and now I could see that we'd knocked over a bookcase. There were hardcovers and paperbacks strewn all over the floor. Those steps were hidden by that bookcase, I said. It's a secret passage into the basement. But why did the other staircase vanish? Angela asked, stepping off the fallen bookcase and walking toward me. I shrugged and shook my head. I don't know, I replied, and I don't care. I just want to find my dad and get out of here. But we couldn't find my dad. We left the bedroom, and I called out to him, shouting, listening and shouting, wandering through the house. Dad never responded. Now what? Angela said. We were standing in the living room next to the contraption that Dad had built. We're getting out of here, I said, and I picked up my gloves. Angela, too, reached down and picked up her gloves. What do you mean? She said. We're taking the van and going for help, I said. You can drive? She asked, and gave me a puzzled, disbelieving look. Well, I've never done it before, I said, but I've watched Mom and Dad drive hundreds of times. It's a cinch. You turn the key, put her in gear, and step on the gas. And use the steering wheel, of course. I could tell Angela was apprehensive, but before she had a chance to speak, I continued. Think about it, Ange. What else can we do? Dad is missing, this place is haunted, and we're alone. And we're in the middle of a blizzard, Angela said sharply. I don't think it's the best time for you to try out your driving skills. Skills that you don't even have, anyway. The wind continued to howl around the house, and in my mind, I saw a giant white witch, high as the clouds, sweeping her bony hands and arms over us, directing the wind and the snow and the ice and the sleet. And I was going to learn to drive. I was going to learn to drive, and the white witch was laughing at me. Let's go, I said, and it sounded more like an order. Angela pursed her lips. Her eyes bored into mine. I could tell she did not like the idea. But I think she also realized that we were out of options. We had to go for help, and the van was our ticket out, even if we were in the middle of a blizzard, and even if I'd never driven a vehicle before. And so, with Angela following me, we walked through the living room, down the hall, through the foyer, through the front door, and into the raging blizzard.